line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker. The future is feeling.
Better place to get your personalized hats, shirts, koozies with a quick turnaround on shipping all over the U.S. than the Green Door General Store. Be sure to follow us on Facebook to place orders and get specials today from the Green Door General Store. We are the place where the toughest drivers will come to race from far and wide. But just who are we? We are the Pit Stall Racing Series.
Redline Motorsports Media can help you fulfill all of your motorsports industry photography and videography needs. Contact Redline Motorsports Media, where everything we do is driven by you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the last time, this will be one of the toughest races that I think these guys will ever face. Two drivers go for a championship today. Everyone else is looking to bring a top five to the background, and this could real or deal themselves into the final battle. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Christian Troy. Join you guys here today. Safe to say, this has been a very, very long season, but yet today, this is their final chance at bringing home the big one. So let's take a look at our starting lineup. Presented by our friends at the Pit Stall Racing Series. Here is your lineup for the ButtKicker 100. On the pole in the 95, it will be Robert Warren. The outside in the 46 is Dalton McKinney. Row number 2 in the number 20 is Jeff Oakes. The outside in the 8 is Jeffrey Radke. Row number 3 is the 11 of Bobby Anderson. The outside in the 84 is Matthew Hofford. Row number 4 in the 21 is the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn. The outside in the 00 is Chris Litterell. Row 5 is the 54, Jason Cracky. Outside of him. In the 10, Jason Henry. Row number 6 is 98 of Sean Long. The outside in the 76, it is Mike Rideout. Row number 7, piloted by Dennis Warrens in 90. The outside in the 51 is Jeffrey Vickery. Number 12 is Shane Ledoux. Holds up the rest of the field. This race brought to you in part by our friends at the ButtKicker Company, the Pit Stall Racing Series, Red Line Motorsports Media, the Green Door General Store, 418 Group Custom PC.com, Gainz Fitness Incorporated, Lightning Wrapz, and Shriver Twisted Creations for your viewing entertainment pleasure. We introduce you the ButtKicker 100 and the season championship down in Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. With that said, stage break at 30, the rest run from the gaps. It's time to go racing for the ButtKicker 100. The championship's on the line. And who might be the two heavy hitters in this one? Well, just so happens to be the two guys right now trying to run the gauntlet immediately. Warrens and Oaks right now currently moving their way back across the plains, back across the field here, moving down off the track. Oaks right now looking in, trying to sideways his momentum here on old Warrens. The rest of the field right now packed and stacked up there with Khan and Racky also in the mix and in the build-up. Oaks right now trying to lure his way down in the bottom lane here, trying to build off the draft and build off the trap zone here. Seeing where he can go to and where he can kind of run off to. McKinney obviously going to be one of those guys we got to keep a close eye on in terms of his scope and his speed. He'll try to do everything he can to race this race and power off through the gaps here. As will many of these drivers here, but again, so much on the line, so much at stake here. This being the last race of the season, they knew going in this was going to be a very pressured situation. Only the best would be able to survive in this landscape, and only the best would be able to take down the rest. Robert Warrens right now keeping the early lead here as Oaks, McKinney, and Anderson playing different strategies here. Bobby Anderson driving a little bit up to the dog leg there. They've been trying to find a little bit of a different strategy here. And then I'm going to shut through that tight corner there. The hashtag RipTalk95 of Warrens right now trying to just come away with one championship run, one championship race. He's currently a few points out though of Jeff Oaks going into this one. So he knew taking this race on, he was going to be at a bit of a disadvantage. Entering in the race today, 2 points separates Oaks and Warrens. So the bonus points is what could save Warrens today, but Oaks, if he continues to play where it's at right now and race where he's going, I would not want to be him and the rest of the field right now and would have to be kind of pressured up in this deal here. Some of the other guys right now have been kind of playing host to this kind of racing events here. Of course, Crit Churchill and the 00. He's always had a little bit of a showing here on the track and trying to always prove himself there. Season's been a little bit off the wagon, off the spot there, and hasn't quite been his best bet there. But certainly takes a bit of a toll, takes a bit of a drive out from point A to point B. Anderson deep on the outside right now, trying to hold the line off as Khan continues to move his way to the plains. I do apologize in advance as well if I go a little silent here or there. I am currently just battling a little bit of a nasty headache that's been bothering me today, and plus a little shaken up right now still from our issues not being able to get our broadcast in with the vacation coming up, so just kind of relax a little bit, so I apologize to you guys there. As we continue to move our way to the chains and move our way to the drives here. Oaks and Warren still at each other's game plan here at each other's resting spot. Going back down around right now. Shane Ledoux in the number 12 having a little shootout on the bottom lane there as Jason Henry comes up from the top. Now a little crossover action there as Ledoux doesn't have anything for him to cross him down. Remember, crossing over like that definitely burns those tires out a bit. Hurts up the truck more than anything. Robert Van Ness says go Snake in the chat here today. As Dalton McKinney pushes the number 20's luck a little bit. And McKinney not wasting any time. He wants track position and he wants to drive off from here. The Raceway thank Robert Kahn here. Been so present and persistent in the Pedal Metal Racing League days. Thought might as well come out here again, just pull off what he knows. Oh, but unfortunately, I don't think saving fuel is going to be the way to go there. If that's what's going to end up doing, he drove that thing in way too wide and a little too tight, and ended up just smacking the wall around. Remember, you got to have a little bit of horsepower to get the truck quarter down a bit. And I don't think you want to wall ride around here, let alone try to play a little Ross Chastain with the Hale Melons around here. Yeah, passing opportunities too here are going to be extremely null and void. You're going to need to play tire strategy, fuel strategy, and all that just to hang on and really put this one into shape here. Put that into perspective, it really could make a huge difference in terms of the overall scope and the overall practice you have to put on the track here. Jeff, right now, looking his way through the field, trying to see if maybe he can get something on Warren's there. But at the same time, I think he's also just being very patient. Probably doesn't want nothing to do with trying to push him around in terms of where he lays at, where he tries to run it from. But a win will certainly secure the championship. Not a playoff format by any means, but it is certainly a win and you take it home kind of deal for Oaks. Not so much Warren's. He needs a little bit of the bonus points to help him out. Oaks taking one win off. I think that'll pretty much all he needs. Because Warren's wouldn't be able to kind of catch back up to him from that angle and that point on. Drivers still hustling through the field right now. Bobby Anderson, the number 11 right now, behind the number 84, Matthew Hoffert. As you see, the 00, Chris Luttrell, looking to bring himself right back on the playing field and back into the nose, into the driver's seat here. Jason Crackey looking on as well. I'm getting word right now as well. Looks like we have Michael Bollinger back with us here now as well. Michael, good to have you back on the show here, sir.
Good to be with you guys. Sorry about me being late. I got caught up in the traffic again of all these race fans excited for this one.
Well, certainly not a big deal there if you just get caught up with those guys, but we do have a 30 lap little stage break here coming up. So right now, currently the field's trying to work on this ButtKicker 100 so far. as we currently have Robert Warren, Jeff Oaks, and the first and second spot, the two championship drivers going at it for the title here.
Well, as I was listening into the radio broadcast on my way getting up here, I heard these two have been going at it ever since the green flag had been dropped here.
Yeah, as soon as they got right on the line, they basically just said, ho hum, let's go racing. And ever since then, Warren's pretty much dominated, but Oaks has looked into the inside a few times, couldn't quite get the run he was hoping for, the push he was looking off from, but he's been right there with him since day one.
Well, it's going to come to strategy with this being a tough track. Like I did here earlier, how this track is a tough passing track.
Tough passing for really a couple reasons, but the biggest thing is that the way the bankings corner off and the way the track kind of tickles the bottom to the top, it forces drivers to have to make certain choices, very crucial moves. And unlike normal Phoenix, where you get a little bit of an opening bankment to kind of force another driver around a little bit, this place, not so lucky. You basically have to try to drive that thing in as quick as you can, and then kind of either cross them over before you hit into the dog leg, or you're going to have to basically get as close as you can to them and nudge them around a little to get them loose.
Indeed, indeed. But as of right now, Oaks is only 0.6 seconds behind Robert Warren right now. And has Oaks ever won a championship yet in this league, or no?
Oaks has never won a championship ever in his career, and he's been trying so hard and desperately to get there. But with a season like this, the way the season has been, this really may honestly be his last great opportunity to get it done. Obviously, he still has quite a few more good years to race out here in the books, but a championship today for Oaks, in my opinion, would mean the absolute world to him for everything he's put up and dealt with and been handed over on his end. I think it really could make a difference for him today.
I think it will too. After having so many as a disappointment and having a breakout year, this very well might be his year. But we can't count out Robert Warren's yet either, who's been doing pretty good ever since the drop of the green. So if it comes down to one of these two, comes down to the line, it's probably going to come down to the very last pit stop here.
Very last pit stop, very last openings and chances to take home any opportunity, any golden chance here. Certainly a lot on the line, a lot to displace from and really to take down from. Really it all hinders on one thing, whether or not is can he drive the track and can he hang on to the speeds. That's a big key factor in this kind of racing ordeals.
Indeed, it's gonna be. As what a way to wrap up, and what a good race it'll be to wrap up our season here.
Absolutely, indeed, there. But man, there is so much more on the line. Again, we talk about all the great memories and all the great racing, but again, top 5 in points, still needing to try to make a run for it here. Guys like Kahn, Radke, McKinney, Offord, Anderson, they all want to try and make do with what they've been given and what they've got in terms of trying to take home any top 5 prizes. It could be a very big deal for them and a very tough little road to kind of sneak out from.
It can be, and we still got a lot of racing to go. Anything can happen at this track, as you can tell by watching the last few races with the actual Cup Series guys going at this track.
I don't think even that. I think we just got to go back to what we saw Tuesday night here at Phoenix, where the championship was on the line, and all of a sudden, somebody on fresh tires had the race locked up. Final lap, spins it off, turn number 4. I know Calatoni down there is probably listening somewhere and heard my call and said, why is he even bringing that back up? Calatoni, I'm sorry, buddy, but you literally can't just do that and think for 1 second I can't bring it up once in a while. So that was probably one of the hardest moments and the hardest calls I think I've ever had to try to make, and I couldn't even make it right. It was probably one of my worst calls I've ever done, to be honest, but that still was just absolutely crazy to me, what he went through and what went into his mindset and his face and his reaction afterwards. Really just kind of told you how shook up that race kind of made him.
And you said, and you talked about earlier, but the stage break is at lap 30, right?
Lap 30, and that brake is now up, so the caution is out on the track here. Robert Warren's got the early advantage here. Now from here, it's just can the drivers take control and take care of themselves. That will all be centered on what they do from here. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, it will be time to finish the season out. Stay tuned with us with the ButtKicker 100.
Pelham Racing League Season 10 has been brought to you in part by our friends at the ButtKicker Company. Best in performance for feeling real tracks in the virtual world, the ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. By the Pit Stall Racing Series. With exciting action Monday and Thursday nights, this community is the best place to get your sim racing fix. By Redline Motorsports Media, everything we do is driven by you. By the Green Door General Store. There's no better place to get your custom Richardson hats, personalized shirts, koozies, and more with a quick turnaround time shipping all over the U.S. than the Green Door General Store. Visit us up on Facebook for specials and to place orders today. By FEGCustomPC.com. High quality PCs at such an affordable price. FEGCustomPC.com is the perfect site to get you the best PC at the right price. By Gainz Fitness Inc. By Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure. Lightning Wrapz is looking to bring you the best designs in your library. By Shriver Twisted Creations. Twisted mind, sweet design.
Looking for a new PC or an upgrade to your current one? Look no further than Ford Entertainment Group, your home for the best quality and value in new, pre-built, and custom PCs at the lowest price guaranteed. We have affordable PC solutions for any budget, with custom builds starting at $595. Even the pros turn to Ford Entertainment Group to get them up and running. With valued customers from all over the world, it's easy to see why Ford Entertainment Group is the most trusted brand in custom PCs.
I wanted to save my awesome subscribers the most money when they started their sim racing journey. Well, I started trying to look for the best deals. And I'm so proud that Jeffrey and I have partnered up so I can spread the good news about where to get the lowest price on a high quality computer.
Feel confident when buying from us with the FEG Satisfaction Guarantee. Get yourself on track today by visiting us online at FEGPC.net.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here live onto the call here. We are back still with the ButtKicker 100 as our drivers load up down the back straightaway here, ready for turn 3 and 4 restart zone. Warren's, Radke, your top two in the front.
And with the pace car just now pulling down pit lane, fans are on their feet. Drivers are heading into turn 3. Getting ready to head into the dog leg as well. Pace car still pulling down pit lane as we're back underway for the season 10 finale here at Phoenix. Dalton McKinney with a good push on Robert Warren to help him pull out front. And on the restart with the with the stage wreck, we had Jeff Oakes drop down a few spots. He's currently running 4th place as he's now trying to make a pass on Dalton McKinney and Jeff Radke right now for 2nd.
You're going to see a lot more aggression and desperation from the old Oak today than I think you'll probably ever see in your careers. And then the racing background, he knows more than anything. If he does not come away with a win today, he could simply lose out his entire championship. Has trouble down there in turn 12. Shane Ledoux goes for a ride and takes the 51 of victory with him. Unfortunately, caution out on the track. Nasty little scuffle there, unfortunately rolling down from the track side there for the number 12 as Ledoux just overdrove it the sliced bit. And I'm getting tagged there with the 51 in a very tough little ordeal there, so I'm going to take one more look at it here. Maybe slight contact from the 10. We'll see how loose he was. That looks like that's all to do. I didn't see Henry even touch him there the way that camera angle looks, so that will be a EOL there for Shane Ledoux on lap 35. And if you're wondering what that means, it means he goes to the very back of the pack. So no passing go for you, good sir.
Well, as how the field's looking right now, it looks like it's going to be Robert Warren's right in front of Jeffrey Oaks on this next restart. So I feel like these two are going to be battling and have a good push where it's just them two out front, and they'll just work and they'll just have a battle with themselves.
Well, one downside for McKinney is now he's got to start on that outside groove, which means now he's going to have to kind of either force Warrens to have to try to work around him or have to try to bolster him down a little bit. So I think really this could be a bit of an advantage here for Oaks more than anything, because it forces Warrens to have to fight hard with McKinney, and McKinney can't really get in the way. The only difference is maybe Radke, considering that pass that Oaks made, maybe trying to find a way around him again, try to take down that shoot there if you can.
Well, you also think with Dalton McKinney on the outside of him in row number 1 and Jeffrey Oaks right behind him, you gotta think. McKinney slows down Radke enough on the restart. I mean, Robert Warren's on the restart. And Radke, that could be real good for the old Jeff Oaks on this restart. And speaking of restarts, the lights off on the pace cars. It's going to be Robert Warren, McKinney, Jeffrey Oaks, Radke, and Littrell rounding out your top 5. Pace car pulling down the pit lane. And this is a different pit lane entrance than what you would think at a normal oval racetrack. It's way on the back after they go through the dog leg. It's way in the back as they're heading into the front stretch turn to the start finish line in the restart zone. Please try, so Robert Warren's got to pace the field himself until they get to the green, and from there it's all racing. As we are back underway as we're in the pedal to the metal restart zone here in Phoenix.
Well, just as we predicted, Warrens knew he wasn't going to get that top side right away, and he knew Oaks was going to be right there on his tailpipe. And those two have got a lot of history, dating back from the Pistol Money Night series, where a little bit of controversy kind of settled in from those two. But it looks like right now they're cutting it to back behind him to race hard, race clean. McKinney jumping ahead, actually getting the outside line to work for just a brief moment as he now takes control of the second spot.
From what I saw a little bit on the back stretch, it looked like Oaks might have gotten a little, almost got loose, and he saved it and lost the spot on that.
Could very well have. I mean, one big deal there for Oaks, I think, is this problem, this point, is the fact that he had to drive so aggressive out of the gate. Now he's going to try to find a way to block and defend off everybody that tries to come into contact with him with a little bit more burnt edge tires. So that could result in a lot more headaches and a lot more stuff that he's going to have to figure out. And the more he just continues to drip it into the corners and rip it around, it's going to absolutely hurt the truck more than anything.
But there's still a lot of, anything can still happen here. As like, it was like last year, how you saw the leaders blowing tires real lot in real NASCAR and wrecking out and losing the race. Anything can happen. You could be the best driver and you could finish, and you could have a bad restart, and you could get back in the field like 10, 15 spots back. Anything can happen.
Anything certainly can happen. Indeed, I believe the way this system is working right now, if Warrens wins this race where Oaks is at right now, Warrens will win the championship because the fact he's got more wins than Oaks does. I don't even think Oaks got a single win in this season, despite numerous attempts and numerous times trying so temptatiously and so incredibly hard to get there. Warrens has 2, Oaks has 0 to his name.
But isn't it Robert Warren's also down 2 points, 2 on Oaks too?
Yes, but the way the point system is, because Warren's where he's at and Oaks is in that 3rd spot, that gives him the 2 points he needs. So instead of getting 1 point, you get 2 points, because McKinney is where Oaks needs to be at to only have to give up 1 point.
Unless Oaks makes a mistake to cost him, then you could very well say that this race could be pretty much this championship could be in the hands of Warrens if Oaks makes a big mistake here tonight.
Now, McKinney's also thinking about trying to get a top 5 place in the finishing category as well. What that can do is it really could also help him out for the long haul and actually give him a chance to take home a top 5 bonus situation. And Warren's well aware of that too, knows that if he gets put back one position, it's game over. So he knows he has not only to fight off McKinney, but he's also got to fight off anybody else that dares try to challenge him. He's going to need all the help he can get, or he's going to need Oaks to make some mistakes here.
The only mistake I could see could be happening is mistakes on pit road could also maybe cost these drivers too.
Yeah, I tell you, pit road can definitely do you in a few times or two. It's done me a few bad times there in the Pit Stall Monday Night Series, and I've had so much issues trying to get that pit stops figured out. I never really figured out the NASCAR pit stops, but I sure did figure out a little bit more on the short track, short car runs pit stops there. So I can at least say that those are pretty easy to kind of figure out after a while.
I figured out pit stops myself by me personally. I'll start slowing down in the middle. I'll go down below the apron in turns 3 and 4, and I'll start slowing down from there. That way I don't have to lock up my tires and risk sliding around.
That's generally where you're supposed to. Well, that's generally where you're supposed to, but the problem is that once you get a little too close to the pit entrance, then it'll start to penalize you if you don't go in properly, and that's where a lot of the issues kind of stem from. Is Dalton McKinney, well, let's just say he's stemming from a lot of speed and a lot of power, trying to get there to Warrens. Warrens in trouble here. McKinney's got a big run down the straight. Hey, he's going to open it up. Warren's now in trouble. Almost gets a little piece there from the 46, and Warren's almost like just a cat out of the box. Just completely ran right back off from that.
Right now we have Robert Warrens being the class of the field right now.
He certainly is driving like one right now, but I mean the problem is, again, he's got McKinney, Oaks, and now even Radke just trying to intervene on him, trying to build up a little bit of speed. Meanwhile, everyone else in the back of the field going at it a little harder as usual. Sean Long in 98, the Threat Level Midnight Motorsports crew, as well as the 11 son of a digger of Bobby Anderson, pulling the strings and pulling the speeds, just trying to hang on. Everybody right now certainly wants nothing more and nothing less than to be able to just hang on for this one.
Indeed, as right now we have Robert Warrens at half a second up on McKinney right now. And 0.82 second of Oaks right now.
Hard racing right off the distance from turn number 4, and Sean Long and Con, little contact made. Both drivers come out clean, just Rubbins racing, Vickery looking to kind of shoot his way down inside that inside lane there as well. Trying to pull up the speed, trying to pull up the driver. We've seen him have some great performances on the show, but this season, well, let's just say it hasn't quite been the same for him.
I feel like if I'm Oaks right now, I'm thinking about pit. I'd be thinking pit before Robert Warrens does. That could be the winner. That could be the winning pit stop if he pits before Robert Warrens.
Hard to really say, because when you go in early, then you got to help that Warrens goes in the next lap, or not in the next lap, or you're going to still be kind of in a bad spot. So if I'm Oaks right now, I'm probably trying to see when Warrens calls his bluff, and then maybe if he can get himself into pit road quickly, he might have enough time to save or use the tire up in the fuel run to try to put Warrens even further back. That's the biggest dilemma here they're facing, is whether or not to choose the tires and the fuel or save them for later.
I'll be thinking save, save, save. Maybe try taking fuel, maybe right sides if it comes down to it. Or if I have time, like under a caution, I'd probably take fuel and off fours. However my truck's feeling would do what I would do.
The old Oak, though, right now, he's having all sorts of problems right here as Radke, again, looking at the top 5 bracket, looking at the top 5 position. He's taking a good long look at what he's doing. Oaks right now is not getting any extra give up. He's going to have to stick or something on the strategy-wise, because he's losing a lot of time on Warrens. And this is certainly hurting his costs and hurting his case quite a bit here.
As Jeff Oaks did fall back one place to lose third to Racky right now, just now.
Phillips has come in second place so many times in his career and his championship reigns as well. It's kind of amazing to me he hasn't been able to finally find a championship. Even his old pal Matthew Hofford, who I've had plenty of racing action with him and had to deal with him on multiple occasions. He's got a championship to his name back from the PTM Dirt Series. But one thing I can say though too is that Hoffer and I probably still kind of reeling and dealing from Hickory there, and I already apologized to Hoffer about that. I know it's already been broadcast and televised, but man, that was a bad deal on my end. I thought he honestly was a lap down, and I ended up just driving the wheels right underneath him and pushed him up a bit. So, Hoffer, you're listening to this back, but I'm gonna apologize on air. I seriously am sorry. I did not mean to do what I did there. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you always have a spotter. You take note where you're at in the relative speeds.
That's why when you race iRacing, you try to find a friend who can be your spotter for you, because sometimes you can't trust your iRacing spotter, as it's happened to me a few times and I wrecked out because of it.
No, it wasn't even that. I was just not even looking at where the heck the other drivers were or what was going on. I had a lot of bad luck at Hickory last season where I got wrecked out nearly not once, not twice, but almost 3 times in separate occasions. And lap traffic actually hurt my entire run there. If it wasn't for what I did at Nashville to win that championship, I would have been pretty much out and down of it. So that was kind of the reason why I drove as extremely aggressive as I did, for those at home that are wondering. But at the end of the day, I don't need to sound like a Denny Hamlin on this show. I just race in what I need to do, but still, I'll apologize when I know I've done something real stupid.
So right now we still have a few other guys trying, like Cracking, Little, and Dennis Warrens, all trying to catch up to our leaders right now, our top 4 leaders right now, trying to join the party.
Easier said than done, because at this point now the pacing is starting to stretch these drivers where and when and thin here, and the way it's looking, and to me Robert Warrens may have found a perfect strategy and a perfect blend to use up on this track. He's got the old rest in peace tuck on the back of that thing. Again, that's kind of an homage to Jonathan Tuckness, who unfortunately was just a little too well-rounded and well too regarded in the league there, and then he unfortunately had to be let go from it. But Robert wanted to pay an homage to him at least. So definitely trying to showcase what that speed kind of did there from the old tuck, but at this point here, Robert still has to finish this season out before he can really say anything about this one.
He should have.
Little blip cam action here. As you can see, drivers trying to take multiple lines and multiple runs here. McKinney falling up to the outside line as now Radke jumps his way in ahead. Yellow kind of watching on as he still sees every driver just kind of moving ahead of him more and more. Hard to really determine what the driver's strategy and the fuel limits and tire limits are going to do, considering what they've been trying to figure out today. Not to mention the hard battling going on from the middle to the back of the packs here, like Anderson and Kahn still basically pushing each other to the limits, while Vickery tries to stay at least somewhat ahead of the curve and get a lead lap back. Down only 2 laps, but still 2 laps is 2 laps.
The laps are laps at right now too. Even if you're trying to get in the top 5, you want to try to finish in the top 10 or anything above that.
Absolutely. Anita Johnson, by the way, comes on board. She says, "Hey Wally, Anita, thank you so much for tuning on in." Yeah, we haven't seen Wally in a while, but we sure do miss him. If you can try to get him in touch with us, we certainly love to hear back from him and get back on the track here. It's been a while since we've seen the old Babster.
Looks like whatever Robert Warrens has found, it sure appears to be working up, as he's holding off last year's champion Radke, McKinney, and Jeff Oakes right now.
Yeah, Jeffrey Radke not having the championship season he was really hoping for, and ended up getting kind of derailed there in terms of his scope, in terms of his speed. But for one thing's for sure, though, at least being able to place him out in the top 5, where he places that right now, that'll certainly help out his cause a bit. But he knew going into this race he had really little to no chance of anything good happening to him there, and he was going to be points short championship. The only feasible drivers that could have been champion was Oaks and Warrens. And Jeff Oaks right now going to try a very, very wild little strategy. He's gone into pit road now while Robert Warren stays on out. So it looks like Oaks may be looking at this from definitely a different tires perspective. But this is pretty much what he needs right now, is for Warren to stay out and continue his pace. And maybe he gets a little bit lucky here. We'll see. Oaks take in right sides. Let's see if he goes for all four. And yes, he will. All four tires going on that truck. Fuel with it as well.
So what I'm thinking is, by what's going on is, they can get at least maybe 36. Some drivers are getting at least 36 laps of fuel in before they go in.
Yeah, right around there right now. Some of them are pushing about 36, 35 at the moment. And that's enough to finish this race outright, but I don't know how well it's enough to finish the entire chassis out with this kind of performance, this kind of level end of the track. I think that's really going to be their biggest dilemma, is when and where is the right time to strike, and when and where is going to be the right time to make your move and hope for the best.
So I feel like Jeff Oaks is going to eventually have to be thinking about getting left sides instead of keeping left sides for longer than his right sides, because his left sides are going to tend to wear fast too.
Certainly can indeed. On down towards lap 69 right now out of 100. As the Yellow Dog gets back on the track, he's still currently in a decent position here in a decent little spot. You can see what fresh tires will do for you there too. There, Michael, as you see him just cutting through traffic quickly rather than having to pace himself. Anderson had no chance once Oaks kind of got that run and he built that speed up. And I think that's what Warrens and McKinney are a little worried about right now. It's probably just looking at trying to get the fuel and the tires stitched up. So now he'll go into pit road, and now Warrens' big crucial moment here. Needs to pit in properly. Close. McKinney. Oh! McKinney lost it there in the pit road. That's going to cost him dearly there, and that will certainly hold him up a bit there. Robert Warrens, will see if he did not have a speeding penalty in there. Mike Rideout going to stay right up there with Long, Anderson, and Cons. Most of the other drivers going into the pit road. Oaks now knows he's back on the lead lap, and he's trying to get around Racky. Now he's got to try to get around Robert Warrens. He still has a little bit of a gap brewed up. He's going to have to hurry to him. Right side's going on for Warrens. Will the lefts go on? It's a bit of a gamble. He's going just rights. He just took right side tires. That's it for Robert Warrens. Is that going to be enough, though, with a hard charging Old Oak right behind him? This is a big move here Robert's making here.
Now, we're going to see what happens with that big move. As Jeff Oaks does pass, as Jeff Oaks is still trying to catch him right now.
Well, he got around Radke, but now can he get to Warrens? And it looks like Warrens, I may have misjudged the strategy a little bit. It might actually work out okay. But he is losing a little bit of speed on those straights. The corners, though, Warrens is not quite keeping Oaks out of it here. But this is a very tall move and a very tough decision. He had to either do one of two things. Either he took all four tires, let Oaks pass him, and then drive it from there. Or he was going to try to take the two tires, keep him behind, and keep him in that dirty airflow and hope that Oaks doesn't make a mistake. And he did make a mistake. Robert Warrens makes a crucial mistake from turn 4, the same corner that cost Tony a championship. Could that have just done it to him?
We'll find out. As if Khan hitting the rattlesnake getting pit lane right now. With the 11 as well hitting pit lane.
Bobby Anderson with him there. Mike Rideout, the only driver still in pit road right now. He's going to try to linger this one as much as he can. The time is ticking though. Radke right now probably thinking to get a win in. But Jeff Oaks, the only thing he's thinking about is staying ahead of Robert Warrens. This is a crucial dilemma right now for the 95 and the 8. They have two choices. Radke can try to make a pass and try to secure himself a third place or a fourth in the championship. Or he can let Oaks and Anderson and Warrens go at it and let those two decide their own fates. But really, as a driver, really, do you think anyone else thinks about anything but themselves?
No, I think they just think about themselves and helping out their teammates if they need to.
Well, I know that all too well.
We have the 76 also coming into pit lane as well now. Mike Rideout's hitting the pits.
Yeah, he's in pit road, and Ratke almost catching the inside lane there of Oaks, and he actually did here, and it's slowing Oaks down. Ratke driving in aggressively. Oaks trying to hang on. This is going to be your battle for the race lead this time on by. Rideout's not going to have enough time to get out of pit road, and Oaks knows he's in a bit of a tough dilemma. Ratke wants that spot, but a championship may mean more to Oaks here. I think he may just try to race him out from here, but again, Robert Warren's only on right sides. He still has a little bit of wear and tear on the right sides. Oaks needs to be careful here.
And we're still side by side for the race lead battle between Oaks and Ratke.
These two are not going to leave each other alone there, Michael. They want nothing more than to outsmart and outrace the other. Oaks looking to try to cross over the A. Too little, too late. Ratke makes the big jump around, and Oaks almost look like he's almost in just a completely different world right now. He's going to try and dip it back in. Oaks, I wouldn't try to race that hard on him. This might be your only chance for a championship. Just let this one sink in, sir.
Oaks, all you have to do is just leave that 95 right behind you. Just gotta leave him in the rearview mirror. That's all you gotta do.
I think he's more worried about the overall point system. He's probably worried about the bonus points. He knows Warren's has a little bit of a faster lap, so that will give him at least 1 point back. The fastest times right now were set 27.43, although actually I can't take that now. 27.37. Ratke's got the fastest, so now Warren's is basically having to drive like a madman on a mission to get around the 20. But Oaks, honestly, I think made the gravest mistake fouling with the 8. Now he's giving Robert Warren a little bit more breathing room, a little bit of life. And now he's literally rolling the corners off and might have a slight chance. I think Oaks made a big mistake, and Warren's almost clips him through turn 1 and 2. Oh my!
Or does he have Dalton McKinney right behind Robert Warren too? Let's see if these two try to work together or not.
That's Mike Rideout actually there right behind old Warren, so Rideout pretty much has no stake in this battle here unless he decides to choose one around it, but I don't think he wants anything to do with messing with these guys. Oaks going to try to defend on the bottom lane, but Warren's going to get a great run on the outside. They're going to go head-to-head here down the straightaway. Slight advantage there to Robert Warren as Oaks tries to hang on.
Here's a battle for the championship right here.
Well, the contact there between them. Robert Warren gets it right ahead. Now Oaks just has to keep a somewhat relatively stable pace, and he can possibly take the championship home. This is too close to call.
It's getting grind time now for these drivers as we're on lap 82.
I really do question, though, what the heck was going through the old Oaks' mind when he decided to go head-to-head there with Ratke, cost himself time, cost himself position, and then let Robert Warren kind of sneak back up ahead of him. Robert Warren, again, needed to get a race win in at least, and then he needed bonus points. But the way it's looking right now, Robert does not have the bonus points secured, so he's pretty much on a must-win situation now and keep Oaks right there in the back to tie this championship up and gain with the win with the most wins this season.
Now, or if Jeff Oaks loses the spot, well, that should put him in the lead. And when's that put him in the points lead right now?
Well, if Oaks loses the spot to Jason Kratke, who is 7.5 seconds back right at this moment, then Oaks will be basically tied with Robert Warren here. And the way I'm looking at it, that could be the biggest dilemma.
Now, Jeff Oaks might need some left sides now too. Maybe. After some of these drivers took all fours on the stage break and only took right sides on this last round of pit stops, that might come into play here, wouldn't you think?
I mean, if there was a caution that popped out right now, I would not want to be Robert Warrens here or Jeff Folks, because then they have to pretty much throw all their strategies out the window and then pretty much have to figure out on the fly what the heck they're even going to bother doing.
This is still going to be a close call. This championship call has me on the edge of my seat. I don't know about you race fans at home, but I'm on the edge of my seat watching this one.
At the moment, the way they have it structured, the fastest lap gets a point, the slowest lap gets a point. That's the only 2 bonus points you get. Warrens was obviously hoping for a bonus point, but again, he does not have it. He was out-duped there by a couple other drivers, including McKinney and Radke. And then Oaks right now, the only problem for him is if he gets passed up by Kratky right now, he will tie Warrens in terms of where they'll finish out. Robert Warrens has to find a way to catch Radke, or his championship could be over unless something happens to the old Oak back there. And maybe just pouring suit on the open wound now here. Robert Warrens having to face off with a little bit of traffic and mix between there. Looks like a little problem for Shane Ledoux in the 12. Scratches the wall up a little bit down in turn number 3. And that slowed Warrens up a little bit. Now Oaks has to find a way around him as he plows into the wall there. Now Oaks probably a little nervous to get around Ledoux, but he's going to have to make something work, or he's going to give up more time to Kratky. He can't allow that to happen. He needs to stay in the gas pedal and stay focused. He's only down to 11 laps to go this time on by. This is anybody's race.
Now, if I was Oaks' pit crew chief, I'd be telling him to save as much as he can. Save tires, save everything. Let the other guys race it out and burn up their tires first.
I'd be basically just I'd be just telling him, do not try to mess with anybody. Don't try to run anyone too hard. Don't do anything too aggressive here. Look at the points and look at where everything is laying at. Just stay focused on yourself and nothing else. And Oaks right now probably well aware of that. He just needs to stay away from any dire situations or any problematic situations, because this could certainly cost him and then some.
Could cost him indeed if he makes another mistake like he did rubbing up against the wall. Indeed.
Radke basically is checking out from this field right now, so this is literally slipping and slipping and slipping more and more from Warrens' hands here.
My part is didn't Radke steal the championship and the win last year at Michigan for the championship?
He got very fortunate that he basically drove a perfect race and managed to get ahead of McKinney and a few other guys in that long fight out. Oaks was actually in that hunt too, but came up just short. He told me earlier today, if I was ever to get in that dilemma again, I'm not going to let that one fall out of my hands. I certainly can believe it. 8 laps to go, still 7 seconds ahead of Kratky. I think the old Oak has figured this out.
Now, I know the old Oak or Jeff Oaks or Robert Warrens, they do not want to see a caution right now.
Now, Robert Warrens wants to see a caution because that'll give him a chance to try to put Oaks back even further. Oaks is the one that doesn't want nothing to do with it right now. If I was him, that'd be the worst thing you can probably imagine.
Any championship points leader does not want to see a caution with only a few to go.
Well, we saw what happened Tuesday night and what that can do to a driver's psyche and mentality. It changes you as a person when you have something like that slip out of your hands, when you have something so precious, so valuable, just completely go away with the wind. He cannot make any mistakes or let off here. He's got to be focused and stay on the gas pedal and hope that Radke can finish this race out where he's at, and hope that Warrens doesn't try to catch him. But again, Warrens, in my opinion, made the wrong call. He should have took all 4 tires and then try to get up there to Radke. I know he had no choice though, because of what Oaks did. Kind of with the strategy you went there, Michael, which you said Oaks needs to get into pit road as soon as possible ahead of Warrens. I agree with that strategy, but again, I only agree with the 2 if it was going to be that Warrens stayed out at least a lap later than when Oaks went in. So that was pretty much my biggest dilemma, was it needed to be a full lap or two, and Oaks was going to have a good chance at it, and he certainly does now because of where he positioned it at and where he's put it at. This is what he needed.
Now, all Jeff Recchi has to do is stay clean and hope these other lap traffic stay clean as well. That way and Jeff Oaks wants that as well. So if Jeff Oaks can just stay where he is and safe, he could have this locked in as we are getting ready to head to lap 98 out of 100. If I was Robert Warrens, I would start getting aggressive now if I was Robert Warrens.
I wouldn't even think it's just getting aggressive. I would just think it's just racer line out. Oh, wait a minute. Dennis Warrens and Dalton McKinney. Oh, boy. There's some beat between those two. Last week, Warrens wasn't happy. Dennis, that was not happy with McKinney at the end of the race. They ended up giving a not so celebratory little nudge and little smack there. And it looked like he may be thinking the same thing for a minute ago. Right now, cameras are dead focused on those guys and keeping a close eye. They know they can't not be trying to change this championship hunt with 2 to go. This is anybody's guess, anybody's race. With what happens next, can Warrens hang on just a little bit longer? Oaks is slowly but surely creeping up on Warrens. Maybe looking to just cap off a perfect season with one last big pass. We'll see if he can get to it. White flag is out, presented by the ButtKicker Company for your race leader, Jeffrey Racchi.
And last white flag of the season.
One last chance. Warren's hoping for a break, hoping for a miracle. I don't think it's going to get a miracle on Bourbon Street this time, though. Racchi singles the turn. He's got one big foot led full into the driver's seat and down through turn number 3 and 4. Jeffrey Racchi will win the battle and take home victory in Phoenix. But for Jeff Oaks, a season finally comes to fruition. The old Oak is going to be champion.
I mean, he's been waiting a long time to hear those words.
Perhaps way too long.
And he was due, too.
He's done it. The old Oak, he's going to be a little bit quiet about this one. Robert Warrens did everything he could to try to hang in there and try to put everything in the breadbasket. But the old Oak, numerous years I've known him, he's been waiting a long, long time for this one. He is your Season 10 Truck Series champion.
And now, time for him to burn it down.
He's going to be one happy camper when we get to talking to him. But can't count out the 8 as well. Radke will take home another win this season. It may not be his championship that he was hoping for, but he had to do everything he could. And it will just end up being a little bit short in the long haul. What a season, folks. And it's great to see everybody come out of it swinging, clean as a whistle. Definitely respectful driving on all their accounts. Jeff Radke is your ButtKicker 100 winner, ladies and gentlemen, here in Avondale. Robert Warrens, though, heartbreak and disgust, and maybe in his mind, but so many things could have gone right, so many things could have gone wrong. He did everything he possibly could. He'll just fall victim to the old Oak. Jeff Oaks finally put it all together in a championship battle. Jason Crackey doing a good job showing for a 4th spot today. Dalton McKinney takes 5th. Warrens goes 6th. 7th to Bobby Anderson. Sean Long 8th. 9th to Chris Luttrell. And 10th to Jason Henry. That rounds out the top 10.
And rounding out the rest of the field will be Mike Wright out in 11th. Matthew Hoffer in 12th. 13th goes to Shane Ledoux. 14th goes to the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn. And in 15th, rounding out your field, is Jeffrey Vickery.
Well, race fans, it's finally time to chat with our drivers here and listen into their thoughts, listen into their insights here. I think Robert Warrens probably, though, is going to be a little bit on the edgy side for this one. So we'll see if he wants to join us. But he is your 2nd place overall finisher. Your race winner, though, is going to be the man that now joins us here in the call here, ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey Radke, the ButtKicker 100 winner here today, ladies and gentlemen, taking one home. And Radke, man, oh man, sir, did you have to work hard for this one? A long, long road and a long fight out from point A to point B, and you certainly proved it by taking home not only the fastest lap, but also the second fastest lap, but also really bringing home the speeds to the rest of the track today, sir.
Yeah, I figured there in the beginning I'd take it kind of easy, see, when other guys started to fall off, about 15, 20 laps in. I knew Warren's was going to be pretty tough. He was going to have to make a mistake for me to really get around him, and then just kind of was wanting to be perfect on that last pit stop, and everything kind of worked out, and I was able to get the lead, and they had to catch me.
So as your strategy going into this race, what was your strategy going into this race so you can try to get better up in the points to try to make a top 5 in the points?
Just stay up front, try to stay with those top 3 guys, and just kind of see where their weaknesses are, or when their tires start to fall off. I knew that was going to be a big deal here, and just try to have the most at the end, which I was able to do. I was kind of putting time on them there the last few laps.
Well, you put time on it, and this one plays out perfectly in your favor. You have taken home the 3rd place overall in the series, so you'll get a top 5 prize for that. Baraki, who do you want to thank you for all that today, sir?
My wife, of course, she lets me do it every week. The guys over at Threat Level, they're a blast. Always fun to have in my ear. You guys for putting on an awesome broadcast. All the sponsors that are part of the league, and the league itself. I wouldn't have anything to do on Sundays.
For sure there. It has been a pleasure to work for me at Radke. Congratulations, taking home another podium in the overall season standings.
Thanks.
Jeff Radke, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take it down now and talk with our 2nd place overall and in the race today, Robert Warrens. Oh man, sir. Did you put everything you had into the breadbasket? You throw the 2-tire strategy out on the track. It almost looked like it worked, and then Radke just came and spoiled it for you there, sir. What was going through your mind when everything just kind of came full circle?
Yeah, it looks like Mr. Oaks had a royal flush tonight, and I just had a full house. And the cards were definitely in his favor. I guess Radke took 4, and I took 2. Oaks took 2, too, and I lost it going through the dog leg there. I got a little squirrely, I think, and then after that, I just gave up all my time. So hats off to Oaks for a good season. We had a great battle all year, and it is what it is. I'll be back next season. We'll dust off our strategy and maybe find a new one and get us up, get us our championship that we were looking for.
So as you're going into this race, what was your strategy going in on trying to get as many points on Oaks as you can in this to try to pull the upset off on him tonight?
Well, we had that one caution there just after, our stage break. And as that caution came out, I was pacing to do a fast lap. So my strategy was to finish ahead of Oaks and set fast time. But then when that caution came out, you only have tires to set one fast lap. And after that, it was game changer. And then I was just, as the race progressed, I was 2 positions ahead of him, and that would have put us in a tie. And I don't know how the league deals with that. We could deal with that afterwards. But, once Radke came out and he was ahead of us, I was like, well, this is just the fate of the card. So I was happy just to, finish respectfully in P2 and P2 for the season.
P2 indeed, Warrens. You put up one heck of a performance and one certainly nothing to sneeze at with it coming down to 1 point. But as you finished 2nd overall and today, I must ask you, good sir, who do you want to thank you for all this?
Yeah, shout out to PTM Racing League. It's been a fun season, heck of a season this year. And, shout out to PTM TV. I know there's going to be some great broadcasts for everyone to look back on. And, shout out to my brother. He came, he did the Ride to Conquer Cancer yesterday. And he came out, I was like, bro, I need you here today. So shout out to him for being in the seat, even though he probably can't even bend his legs. So, thank you guys for having me. And, yeah, just looking forward to next season, really.
Robert, it's been a pleasure having you down from the trackside all season. Congratulations, bringing home a solid podium and a 2nd place overall, buddy.
Yep, thank you.
Robert Warrens, ladies and gentlemen, throwing it every way to Sunday, but today, and at long last, multiple years I've known this guy, it's been too damn long, sir. Jeff Oaks finally is going to get himself a season championship crown, and by 1 point of all things, Jeff. we nicknamed you the Old Oak after what you did at Atlanta this season, and it really, I think that is probably the comeuppance of what could best describe what you did and what you put on the track. I gotta ask you, sir, you've been waiting for this one. What does this feel like to
I feel so light. So like, oh man, it's such a weight lifted off. Let's go. Let's go. Finally. I've wanted this so bad, and all the support and just everything I put into it, like it feels so good. To finally get this. The crazy thing is I didn't even win a race all season. So I mean, I'll take the championship any day over a win throughout the season, but that's just a pretty crazy point of how the season went.
So as you were going through the race tonight, what was going through your mind as we were taking the green tonight?
I mean, I felt pretty comfortable going into the green, and even that first stage there where I was just kind of riding behind Robert, just kind of saving it, not pushing too hard, just kind of maintaining the gap. And then there, in the second stage, after watching the stage, there were a couple guys racking them. They got around me, and there it kind of felt like it was 3-on-1. I was like, oh my gosh. It kind of felt like it was slipping away, and I just looked down, and there's still a lot of racing to go, and just put your focus on and keep your head down, make sure you hit your laps, and let the rest take care of itself, and consistency pays off.
Well, Oaks, I've known you since NASCAR Heat 4 for about 4 years and all that. This has been a long time coming to see all of the NASCAR Heat 4 drivers, myself included, finally get us all into a season championship. But, Oaks, you've earned this one. The crown is yours. Who do you want to thank you for everything this season, buddy?
Well, first off, my wife, the support that she gives me for doing this, and puts up with me putting time into it, and also you guys up there in the booth, the league that puts this on, everybody that comes out and races every week. It's fun racing with guys like Con and Anderson and Warrens, and guys that every week anybody can win, and that's what makes leagues racing fun, where it's not one guy out there dominating. Of course, all the sponsors that make this thing go. Daryl, I know we was getting to try and get together with him to practice, but it never worked out, and I got this in and win anyways, buddy.
You got this win anyways, and
got this win anyways.
It's been too long, Oaks. You've deserved this one. Congratulations, finally getting it all taken care of, buddy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Gen 6 cars next season. I think that's going to be a real good one, too.
We'll talk more about that as time goes on, but nevertheless, man, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Old Oak finally gets it done. What a season. And again, my comment on the NASCAR 84 thing, I got to remember, guys, when we started the broadcast, and I was literally a driver before I ever became a broadcaster, and one of the things that was crazy was we always had Chantel with championship, Robert Kahn had a championship, Matthew Hoffert, Jeff Oaks, myself, and a few other drivers I knew. We all never had a chance to taste that sweet glory of a championship, whether it was Heat 4 into iRacing or Heat 5 at the same time. So the fact that everyone now has got that and now has finally been able to taste it, man, it's crazy to believe, and I'm really glad to finally see Oaks finally get out of the hurdle, finally put it over. Warren's, I guarantee you next season he'll be a championship contender in so many regards, so watch out for him. But Michael, I mean, your final thoughts, because I know I've been a little bit biased in this one, but I mean, what are your final thoughts on all this one, buddy?
Yeah, so I'm kind of sad the season's over, but anyway, it was clean racing throughout, hard racing. And once again, congratulations to Jeff Oaks on winning the season championship.
Indeed, indeed. Well, the ButtKicker 100 has resulted in a wild race. Maybe not the most exciting, but perhaps maybe the most important for some. With that said, a big thank you again to the ButtKicker Company, to Pitstop Racing Series, Redline Motorsports Media, the Green Door General Store, Ford Entertainment Group, CustomPC.com, Gainz Fitness Incorporated, Lighting Wrapz, and of course, Shriver Twisted Creations for all their support and everything they did. To the fans that stuck with us and stayed tuned, the drivers that stayed with us all season, thank you for your support. Thank you for everything. You fans out there are the greatest, and we love you for everything. Michael, been a pleasure having you. We certainly can't wait to have you back on next season. It's been a long one, but we're calling it a day. Till next time, fans. Stay tuned for more on P10 Racing TV.